You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome back to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Thad, and joining me as always is my co-host, Chrissie. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. You know, you think the students are happy when exams and everything is over. It's got nothing on the faculty. We get through that pile of exams. I mean, it's a metaphorical pile now, but still. And then summer. And it's a hell of a school year with 300 days, so we worked our butts off. How are you doing, Thad?
Well, I just trying to hide by changing the atmospheric pressure, because that totally works.
Well, that's a design flaw.
That's a design flaw. Oh, that line is perfect. Loved it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Also joining us today is our Patreon associate producer, Carl Wonders. Carl, thank you for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Before we jump into our topics for today, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make the show possible, particularly the two associate producers who are here with me today, because I am not one. I'm a freeloader who only pays a little bit. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of these associate producers. You can join this illustrious crew. And
we are
for
illustrious.
A monthly subscription of just $10. See, that shows you just how cheap I am, that I don't pay $10. But you should. And your subscription of any amount at patreon.com/BQN keeps all of the shows on the network ad-free.
You know, I should just move it over to one of the other shows. That's like a holdover back from when all of us on the line were associate producers and just.
I mean, yeah, but then it's just Carl.
That's true too. So you're right.
And then Carl will think, oh, well, what if no one else is paying for this? Why should I pay for this? And then, it's just a slippery slope.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. What was I thinking?
All right. I don't think we really have that much news.
No.
I have heard from a couple people. I'll keep talking about this just because I'm, the guy that is interested in the Star Trek action figures. The Nacelle Wave 1 is actually shipping. I know someone who got some. He lives in California, so they would get there a little sooner. Also, they're just doing their. It depends on where people are on the list. I am still eagerly awaiting mine. I will say, if you have ordered them, my friend who received some of his did not get a shipping notification. They just showed up at his door. So, and I did see that on Nacelle's announcement about the shipping, saying they are trying to send out notices, but they may be after you actually receive them. So, be on the lookout. You might get some action figures.
What a wonderful surprise!
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm super excited now that I have because I have the one that I got on the cruise. So I see how nice they are. I'm really excited for getting more of them. In other action figure news, X06, the expensive action figure company, has released their pre-orders for Miles O'Brien. So that's that one I jumped on immediately. I do not buy most of the X06 figures. I'm not like friend of the show Alex Perry, who can afford to buy every single one of them. But the Miles O'Brien looks amazing, so it's going to look great next to my Cisco and my Janeway.
Mm-hmm. And you have to get a picture of yourself dressed up as Battle of Britain Miles with the figure.
The sad thing is, though, it's going to ship this fall, so and Colum Meaney is supposed to be at STOV this year, so unfortunately won't be able to get him to sign it there.
You could get a little card to put next to it, I guess. Those are... I'm trying to think. You could probably find doll clothes to put that one in the Battle of Britain, so you could have your Battle of Britain out.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
12
him
inch.
dressed
Yeah,
up for
like
Battle of Britain.
there's 12-inch GI Joes. There's probably like actual. Yeah.
Actual Battle of Britain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I did not buy the Bashir that came out a few years ago. I was
no.
tempted because I knew that I would be getting Miles, but they're just so expensive.
They are.
The Miles
It's
O'Brien,
ridiculous.
once you factor in shipping and everything else, and thankfully shipping is not as bad. The price is not quite as bad as it was thanks to the rollback of the tariffs. But it's still not great, and it's still once you factor in shipping and everything else, it's going to be $250 for this Miles figure, and that is not something I can afford to do for most action figures.
But that's special, so...
Yeah, no, this one in
treat.
particular, yeah. I always said, like, this would probably, when they finally do that one, I'll be getting that, and this is probably the last of the X06s that I'll buy, unless they happen to release one that looks so amazing I can't resist. But so far, they've released a bunch of amazing ones that I've managed to resist. So, Starfleet Academy, Season 1, Episode 9, the penultimate episode, 300th Night. Carl, what'd you think this week?
Well, I'm going to do what most of your guests have done and just take a step back and say how much I have enjoyed the show overall.
Please.
And I've listened to a few of them, so I know I'm not the first one to say that it really surprised me how much I enjoyed the show.
I think people say that just about every week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the way it was pitched, and I think I'm starting to think that the people who are talking about these shows in production are just trying to hype them in certain ways that without really but not really revealing the actual meat of the show. Is just, it's going to be like a CW type group of kids in college kind of show, and it hasn't been that at all. And I think one of the things that I've kind of wished we had a little bit more of was the actual college stuff. But
Yes.
I would love to see them actually taking classes and seeing where that goes and that sort of thing.
We get a little of that, but certainly not.
Oh yeah,
a lot.
a little bit here and there, but it's mostly been these offshoot things, like in between classes, these adventures happen. The one that really felt like college was episode 3 with all the pranks that they were pulling on each other, But I mean, for this episode, I it's hard for me to judge without seeing the second half of the story because it's definitely a 2-part piece. I'm kind of two minds of it, and I know Thad, you and I and others have talked about this kind of on the side, but I liked a lot of the interpersonal stuff. I liked them picking up the thread of Caleb's mom and everything, and them kind of having this little ragtag group going out to try to find her and all this stuff. I was a little less enamored with the generic rough and tough planet that they go to and that we've definitely seen many times before. It felt, I think, I can't remember if I read it online or Thad, you said it or somebody said it, that it reminds you of the Klingon planet from the first season of Discovery, or where Raffi and Worf go and meet the Vulcan crime boss guy in the one episode of Picard season 3. It's very standard.
Or the place Burnham and Book go in the beginning of Discovery season 3.
Yep. Or
And
where
it
they
probably
go.
is all the same set.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. So I wouldn't say it was my favorite episode of all of them, but I think even my least favorite episode so far, I would still call it a B episode. Like, there hasn't been a real one that I've kind of found to be a bit of a stinker episode. I think they've been consistently good to great throughout the whole season. So yeah, and who knows? I mean, based on where this goes, I may change my mind on where I put it, but yeah. So definitely enjoyed it. It's probably in the latter half of the bottom half of the episodes for me so far, but that's praising with faint damn, as Thad would say.
I like that.
So, yeah, and I think that's one advantage to modern prestige streaming TV is because we only get 10 or so episodes a season and they're telling a story, we don't get, and there's a lot of conversation back and forth on this, we don't get a lot of filler. Yeah. And there are plenty of great filler moments. So I don't want to open up that argument again. Please don't come for me. But there are also, let's be honest, in old televised Trek, there were plenty of filler episodes that weren't very good. And
Imaginary Friend. Sorry.
Which episode did you say?
Imaginary Friend.
Yes. That there were plenty of episodes, and that's usually the lowest points in old Trek were those episodes when they just had to get something out, so they came up with something quick, and it wasn't necessarily good. Occasionally that spawns greatness, but more often it spawns mediocrity, and then occasionally spawns really bad. And I think because of that, we don't get the really bad anymore. So, like, even at its worst, I would say there's nothing in Star Trek from 2017 onward that's as bad as Star Trek from 66 through 2005 at its worst.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, like, I don't think people quite realize, unless you've read all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like how much it's Indiana Jones in front of the boulder when you're doing these shows in the 90s. Like, they had to crank out scripts every week. And, I mean, this show was written and finessed and worked on for a long time and filmed a year ago or something like that. And so they've had a lot of time to refine it, and who knows how much stuff is actually on the cutting room floor that they didn't use, that they actually molded in post.
Well, in 30 years, maybe we'll get the Starfleet Academy documentary, and we'll find out.
I mean, I wouldn't think it's that much, considering we've been spoiled by having episodes that are an hour or so every week with the show, and like
I love that. I've been so happy with this, that we're getting these long episodes,
and it's great. Never felt long to me.
No. They've all this show is fantastic. I really hate that anytime I go online outside of the friendly walled garden, I just see so much trolling and, like, vitriol about it.
Yeah.
Because I know that almost all of that is from people that either have never watched it or were watching it deliberately because they wanted to hate on it.
Right. Well, I mean, every time I see that I don't read, these clickbaity things that are like, top 5 reasons that Star Trek fans hate Starfleet Academy, and then there's usually a hero image of, like, Jet Reno and Thawk together, you know, because that's not coded in any way. And if they are watching the show, and I doubt they are, like, what is it that they want? Because you hated Discovery, and you've started really dumping a lot on Strange New Worlds, and now and this is just collectively characterizing the haters as a, monolith, which is probably not fair. But, like, I don't know what these people what would make them happy at this point, other than a bunch of white dudes running around doing everything. And
well, some of them will tell you that they want Star Trek Legacy and nothing else. But I think if Legacy actually were to get made, these people would hate that too.
Yeah, because it'd have
Seven and Raffi going off doing stuff.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, because so many of these people seem to think that Star Trek Legacy would actually just be more Picard Season 3, and that's not what it's going to be.
No.
In fact, some of the Star Trek actors seem to think that, too. On the cruise, Marina Sirtis said that Star Trek Legacy is never going to happen because no one will ever greenlight a show where all the cast is over 60. And I'm like,
you're not in it.
Okay.
You're misunderstanding what Star Trek Legacy was supposed to be. If it happens, it's not going to star you. I'm sorry.
No. In fact, she wouldn't even probably show up in a guest appearance.
And if she did, it would be no reason. One episode.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could see LeVar Burton showing up with some regularity. You could even see, Patrick Stewart showing up with some regularity, or Gates McFadden. But
Well, I could see LeVar Burton showing up because the character's children
That's what I
would
mean.
probably
Yeah.
be in the show.
You could see Jonathan Frakes showing up because he'd probably be on set directing anyway.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
you're here. Put on a uniform.
Right, exactly.
No, that's ridiculous. And also, there's plenty of shows on. I know she means a Star Trek show, but there's plenty of shows on with a cast that's over 60.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to point to Golden Girls, but I know actually that only one of them was actually over 60 at the time.
If you look up the ages of the cast of Golden Girls, it just makes you feel ancient, is what happens
Yes,
there.
it does. Yes, it does.
But yeah, no, there are plenty of shows about. Yeah, there are definitely shows on the air about older people. It does happen, especially I think especially now in the age of prestige television. I mean, look at even on Paramount Plus, look at freaking 1923, a prestige television show with Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren, and Timothy Dalton. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
And now I'm sorry, I'm going to rant about a stupid thing I saw on the internet again. Just gotta get it out there. Comicbook.com, which anyone who knows comicbook.com is already rolling their eyes, did an article saying that Starfleet Academy has now turned a beloved character into a villain.
Oh, God, this. Oh.
Yeah,
I missed
Chrissie,
this.
the look on your face is correct. They're claiming that episode 8 has established that B'Elanna Torres is a villain because of the episode Real Life, because she reprogrammed the Doctor's family, and because that gave him trauma, therefore she is now a villain. And let me reiterate once again, forever, media literacy is dead.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the argument of that was a terrible thing to do in the way that it was done. Okay. But no, because she was trying to make the point about, it wasn't real life. And
Yes.
Yeah.
After that, she let the program go on its own. So I don't.
Yeah,
it's not like she programmed it
She
to
did not
kill the
program his
Doctor's
daughter to die. That just happened.
Right.
She
does talk him into going back in, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she was there for him. She helped him process what was happening. Yeah.
That's the lesson of the episode.
Yes.
For God's sake, people.
Again, media literacy, dead.
I saw a headline today. It might have been Screen Rant or something equally Screen
Same
Ranty.
thing.
Yeah.
More or less.
That said that says Trek's true successor is one of the best shows on TV or something like that, and I was like, I clicked on it knowing that it wasn't going to be talking about Academy, but there was that little faint hope of maybe.
I'm just curious what they are saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I want you to think about what some of the top shows that are on right now, and what is probably the least connected to Trek that you can think of.
Okay.
The Pit.
What? Okay, so The Pit is a fantastic show. It is one of the best shows on TV. I love The Pit, but what are you talking about?
Okay, so their argument was that because The Pit deals with social issues, it's a successor to Trek. And I'm like, okay,
The Pit doesn't deal with social issues in a metaphor. It actually.
No.
The Pit
it deals
is
with them
ER
directly.
meets 24 in the best possible way, and it's
yes,
fantastic. But it has nothing to do with Star Trek.
Exactly. I'm just like.
I mean, Issa Briones is in it, but that's about the only connection I can find.
Issa Briones is in it, and she's great.
Yeah.
I would argue she's better in The Pit than she ever was on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Not to say that she was bad on Star Trek.
No, but
but she only had what
experience.
They gave her to work with.
It's Well, that too.
Yeah, I was. So that's always fun. Google is serving me up all sorts of clickbait.
Oh yeah, same.
Trek, it does that. So yeah, so this episode really does kind of help with why the last two episodes were the way they are.
Yeah.
Were the way they were. Because it's like, okay, so we had this a little bit slower, a little bit more character development, a little bit more, not quite a bottle show, but, and then now we're back to the action-y, and we're going to deal with this story with Braca and everything else, and finding Caleb's mom. And I was not sure when this started if we were ever going to find her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they are resolving this, because it needed to be resolved, and it was really shown in this episode why it had to be resolved, because he cannot move on and become a functional adult until he has dealt with this. And he would never be able to deal with it until he knew what happened to her. And even if she had died, I think he'd always have doubts,
That line that Genesis has when she says that he's just hell-bent on being what she said, you're so focused on being this messed up little kid that you can't become an adult, essentially. And that scene is probably one of my favorite of the whole series so far, just because of the performances and what was conveyed in there.
So overall, great episode.
Yeah. I have a question about that. I've been thinking about this a little bit, and they were greenlit for 2 seasons fairly quickly, if I remember right. Like they were renewed before the show even came out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm wondering if they're hedging their bets a little bit on that, because if I had a critique for the season, it's that there's almost too much good stuff in here. We've dealt with, obviously, the Caleb story is the primary driver, but like the whole Sam arc, which I did not expect at all. And I mean, that seems like something that a show that expected to run longer would have played out over a longer period of time, maybe. Yeah. And I'm not sad that they did what they did, because I think Sam is my favorite part of this episode. The parts where she keeps telling Genesis, like, you don't know who I am. You don't know me. Like, stop acting like you know me, because you don't. And my absolute favorite moment of the entire episode is when Caleb is laying into everybody and she just runs up and hugs him and tells him he's full of shit. Like, perfect. I loved it. But I just wonder if they're already thinking like, well, we might only have 2 seasons, so we better tell the stories we want to tell with these really well-rounded characters that they have, because they've done a great job of, telling. Everybody seems distinct. No one feels like a generic person to me anymore already in 9 episodes, which is kind of amazing, actually.
I think they certainly want to do 4 seasons, but I imagine that they ended season 2 in such a way that it will work as a series ender, because it's completely in the air at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, how many shows have had the rug pulled out under them by Paramount at this point?
And with the merger with HBO,
and in this case, it wouldn't even be that, because they've
greenlit 2 seasons. So.
Like they never promised more than 2 seasons, and I think that we'll see what happens. What I will say, there's a lot of stuff on there saying that it's definitely not getting a 3rd season, and that's also not true.
Nonsense. Yeah.
Let's remember that we are currently still in season 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can happen between now and the year.
Yeah, and it's also possible that we might get more. We don't like this as fans, but we might get a season 3. But there might be more than a year between season 2 and season 3.
Yeah. We've done that. We're almost used to that with COVID. After COVID, excuse me.
COVID,
and that wasn't intentional
and then the
there.
strike.
But
yeah. I mean, heck, how long was there a gap between Discovery seasons 4 and 5? I want to say it was over 2 years.
Yeah. I was going to say at least 2 years. And what was it? It was 2 between...
2 between Strange New Worlds as well.
Yeah. Strange New Worlds.
And we'll feel it more now that we don't have all the shows that we had between Discovery 4 and 5. You know,
we don't have Lower Decks to pick up pick up the slack anymore.
I think there were 2 seasons of Lower Decks between seasons 4 and 5 of Discovery.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There were 2 seasons of Lower Decks between Strange New Worlds seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I mean
I don't count the show out. We don't know, none of us can say authoritatively whether or not we're getting a season 3, but the thing we can definitely say is none of us can say authoritatively.
No.
So it could happen, it might not happen. Regardless, we're still getting another season. We're also still getting another 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds. When they announced that Strange New Worlds was ending after 5 seasons, before the 3rd season had even come out, there were so many people flipping out about this. Mm-hmm. And I'm...
when we'd seen 40% of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds to go.
I think there's a disconnect, because those of us that came up with grew up with the longer, first of all, the longer seasons, and then the longer running shows, it feels unnatural to us, but it's becoming more the norm, or it is the norm now. So it's like we just have to kind of shift with it.
Well, and we were, especially TNG and DS9, and probably to a lesser extent Voyager, and definitely not Enterprise, but those shows could have run as long as they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they could have had
TNG
a season 8 of TNG, and they were just like, no, we're so tired. Like, we're pulling relatives out of the woodwork here in season 7. Like, we're out of ideas.
Yeah, they chose to end season 7 so that they were still on a high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and that's what they're doing with. That's what they did with Lower Decks. Is ending at season 5. We have 5 fantastic seasons of Lower Decks, and 5 seasons for a streaming show in today's market is great. Yeah. Same for Discovery. Season 5 of Discovery was amazing, and I think it certainly could have gotten to season 6, but we don't have to worry about it running out of steam because
no.
And I really hope we get 4 seasons of this show, especially after this first season that I've just loved. But I will still also be happy if we get 2 and they give it a satisfying ending. And I think we will get a satisfying ending at the end of season 2. Because they knew that season 3 wasn't greenlit. They know the history of the other shows, so I'm sure they're not ending season 2 on a cliffhanger or something.
No.
Although, just from the perspective that it's supposed to be a college, I will be disappointed that if it's not 4 years. But
Yeah.
I want to see season 3 be where they're out on their work study thing with Tilly,
doing theater apparently.
Oh, maybe not that.
Yeah.
So this episode, though, that we have finished season 1. We haven't finished season. We have finished year 1 of Starfleet Academy. They've done their exams. They're partying. They're heading to Beta Z for a fancy ceremony. And apparently there are students are storing themselves in storage rooms.
To do other activities.
I love that. So there's an old saying, I've seen it, well, I don't know how old it is, but I've seen it in a lot of teachers, forums and stuff like that. And it's for the high school students, when you leave them on Friday, you tell them, don't subtract or add to the population over the weekend. And I was just like, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
We do get the scene where Jaden is sharing Klingon ritual with everyone. They're all drinking whatever that they're drinking.
Something, yeah.
The stuff that gets Darum completely wasted.
Yeah, can I just say that you didn't ask me how I was doing, and I prepared a line that said that I was doing well, considering I'm lacking a lot of enzymes.
Nice.
So I didn't get to use it, so I'm going to use it now. Because I like that moment.
We don't usually ask the guests how they're doing. Sorry.
No, I know.
Because we don't expect the guests to have prepared. So
I've done this before, so.
I should have known better from our associate producer.
Yeah, that's right.
We could go back and clip it in. Oh. Say something next time.
Yeah, that's all right.
In case we forget.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm serious, though. We're not going to be insulted.
I got to say it, because I love the line.
I do too.
I was a little surprised that Kyle wasn't in the group.
Yeah.
With them. I mean, it's more about the family that we've seen on the show, and he's not really a part of that. But still, unless Jaden has already done a sort of ritual with him already somewhere else. But
maybe they were in a storage room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a different type of familial bonding.
Probably. Yeah.
And I don't even mean that in a sexual way.
Be a part of my family. That's a little weird, I guess.
But I think this is more like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
okay.
thing.
That's fair.
Yeah. Or a siblinghood. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get our first indicator that Sam is not the same person that she was before.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. She's now lived a full life that she didn't have before.
Yeah.
And she's planning to move out of the room that she shares with Terima and Genesis.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're dealing with this. I was concerned that they would just bring her back with the same personality, but a capacity to deal with things. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So this is really good.
Yeah.
I can't, like, there's the metaphor of, like, you go away to college and you come home and you've changed, but the people that you come home to, whether it's your friends or your family, they have expectations of how you were and how they think you're going to continue to be. And there is that conflict there. So I think that's wonderful to deal with here. And not just college, that happens all the time in life, but
yeah.
Since this is college.
Yeah, and I appreciate that while she has changed, she definitely still feels a bond with all of these people and still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just she feels differently because she's a different person now.
Mm-hmm.
There was an interesting line where she said at the beginning when she's talking to Caleb and in his quarters, and she says something like, "I've been accessing my old memories." Like,
yeah,
they're not like a part of her all the time, which I thought was interesting. That she has to go back, because it's not like she had another childhood that they had to overwrite or something. It's that this is what happened to you from day one at the academy to this day here when you came back. So it could have been something they just kind of fused together in a way, but I guess they chose not to do that, and now has to consciously go back and think about those things, which I thought was an interesting choice to make. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what to make of that, other than that they called it out. So
yeah, it's almost like that wasn't the same person. She just knows what that person did.
Right.
Which
it's almost like a Trill thing in a way, where like, I remember my former host did this, and it's not really, it's me, but it's not really me, kind of thing.
Yeah, and we get an elevator scene with Terima and Caleb. I do
know
like
how to talk to you.
yeah.
I do like how they do that, and it's just like I was just hoping to have a long, uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah.
None of those really feels like we've seen each other naked. That was beautiful.
And I also killed a bunch of people with my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that too. That was not a storage room.
No, also these elevators are so big.
Yeah, they are crazy huge.
They realized how much space they had on the Discovery, and they filled it.
I was gonna say it's almost a reverse of Discovery, where the turbolifts are in this giant room. Now we have the turbolifts are a giant room.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Well, and the rides are very long too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we do know in Star Trek that the turbolifts do not just go up and down; they also go forward and back and whatnot. So they could be going a long way through the ship.
Well, and much like warp drive, they move at the speed of plot. So,
indeed, they do.
Or, I guess, at the speed of drama is more like it because.
And having just come off the cruise a week ago, I am envious of how big those elevators were, because the elevators on the cruise ship were not nearly that big, but were often that full of people.
Yeah, I believe that.
And now we learn that Noose Braca stole Omega 47.
They're really going back to the obscure Voyager episodes, aren't they?
Yeah.
More than I would have expected.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good episode of Voyager.
No, it is a good episode, but it's not one. If you said name 10 episodes of Voyager, I don't think anyone's going to name the Omega Directive.
Probably not. Not now, or they would now, maybe. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the idea is apparently they were experimenting with Omega on the starbase, and now Noose Braca has it, and he can use it to debilitate a sector of space and make it impossible to travel at warp drive, which we know is a side effect of that from the Omega Directive.
Yep.
And he detonated it on an uninhabited sector.
So I know we're 800 years, 700 years into the future and all that, but we are talking about the thing that was supposedly the most powerful thing that existed.
Yes.
No one could control it, including the Borg. The Borg gave up on it.
Yep.
Right? So, how did we get to the point from there?
Well, it's not the real thing. It's an artificial version of it.
Yeah, to being able to synthesize it, and then but in order to be able to synthesize it, you have to know what it is. And this is not a complaint. It's just I want to know. I want the story here.
I'm assuming
this is
that
a novel or
this synthesized version of it is more stable than the
it would have to be,
regular version.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just, it's the Federation being the Federation. The Borg couldn't do it, but that doesn't mean we can't. It might take us centuries, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So I am going to jump ahead to talk about my general complaint with this plot device. All right. So Noose Braca has Omega mines, and he mines the entire border of the Federation. The entire border of the Federation.
Okay, right. If you look at that image, though, it does appear that it's been mined spherically. Now, how they got enough people to do that in that amount of time is a whole other question.
I think that's what you're getting at.
Oh, okay.
Not the dimensional aspect of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
okay.
it does. Yes, the idea that they had enough mines and enough time to place all these mines in a sphere around the entirety of the Federation
Go ahead. I'm just going to look something up.
Just seems implausible. And I will say, these numbers may not be completely accurate either, because the person that came up with it was, using some estimation on this. Yep. But I saw someone on the internet say, I'll actually call it out. It was on one of the Facebook groups. It was actually a decent conversation for once.
Oh my!
I know, right? Someone named Chris Canfield commented, and I'm going to read this verbatim. If we assume size is proportional to membership, the Federation should, as of Starfleet Academy, be about 3,200 light-years across, or 32 million light-years of surface area. Each Omega 47 mine covers 20 cubic light-years, or 7 square light-years of surface area. To have an uninterrupted sphere of mines around all of the Federation, Noose Braca would have needed to lay 4.5 million mines.
That is going along the lines of
And then the comment out of that is, no wonder he was gone for most of the year.
There you go.
Except the problem with that is, he wasn't doing this for most of the year. He's only been doing this since episode 8.
Right.
He could have been building the mines prior.
But he would still have to visit each one.
Yeah.
Well, he's been doing it since episode 6, but still.
Okay, you're right, episode 6. You're right. Yeah. But still.
It's 16 light years between Earth and Vulcan. Nivar. But that's what I was looking up, because even assuming a smaller, even if it was just that 16 or 20 light years, yeah, no, agreed. Okay, see, I was thinking, whenever they say that they've done something on the border of the Federation, I always go back to Redemption, and I'm just like,
yeah, well,
there's a vertical axis here, you know. So I didn't even think about the amount of mines that would be needed, or the
I do appreciate that final shot where they show that it is a sphere and not just a circle around something. I mean, this doesn't necessarily get to the question of the surface area, but one thought I had was, I wonder how much of these mines actually have anything in them, and how much of them are just there as like a false deterrent.
Maybe.
Like going back to the changelings on Earth stuff, where they're like, there's only 4 of us here, or 12 of us, or whatever it was that they said, because we don't need that many. We just need the threat of us to deter everything. So, I mean, I don't know if that's even anything to do with what happens, but
even just laying all
no, I know.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Not
how would
they're not cloaked?
No.
Like, beyond just, first off, the logistics of just doing it at all, but secondly, doing it without the Federation noticing that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it's a little implausible.
Yeah. It is. And I'm a little bummed that they went back to the universe-ending calamity well. Or, I mean, it's not really universe-ending, but it kind of is if they blow up. But yeah, like,
and
that was my biggest gripe.
Cadets are the only people who can save the universe.
That'll be, yeah.
Wesley Crusher syndrome.
Well, plus they have Jet Reno, so.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe Jet Reno can save the universe, but...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. She has already, I mean.
But, yeah, no, it's interesting. We'll see how they do it. I know sometimes I'm not always... I feel a little let down when they set up the great stakes and then they finally finish it. But we'll see. I'm hoping that episode 10 will surprise me on that score.
So since we've jumped around, I have a question that maybe you know the answer to. I don't. Where is the Chancellor's office on the ship? Is it in the saucer, or is it in the atrium?
I'm assuming it's in the saucer, since they say everyone's on the saucer when they separate the saucer.
Oh, that's true. They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe we know exactly where on the ship it is, but I'm assuming, that it's...
Because I was like, are we going to have a Die Hard situation where you have Jaden and Terima running around?
No, they would...
No.
They wouldn't have left them behind.
Yeah. They specifically say that everyone is in the saucer, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I didn't want them to be separated, so...
I always figured it was like, if it wasn't right behind the bridge, it was maybe like the deck below.
Well, they had to go a little bit of a ways because the doctor said he was following their life signs the whole way to the office.
Yeah.
So.
And they did get into a turbo lift, so...
Mm-hmm.
But it does make sense that it would be in the saucer, because it's also, like, it's like the equivalent of the captain's ready room, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that office, though.
It's great.
Oh,
I'm a fan of 32nd century craftsman design. Anyway.
I think we have Star Trek Picard to thank us for her having a holographic office.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding ways to be, I'm finding ways to list the positive impacts that the first 2 seasons of Star Trek Picard had on the franchise.
I mean, we got those cool skulls of his enemies at the Chicago convention.
That was
true. Yeah,
true. Those were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of wonder why he didn't just. I know most of the fleet is at Beta Z, not all of the fleet is at Beta Z, but certainly the entire government of the Federation is at Beta Z. Why didn't he just mine around Beta Z?
Well, it might have been hard for him to mine inside Federation space without being caught.
That's true. Yeah. What am I thinking? I was just thinking space. Now I'm thinking about the size of the space that he has to mine, not.
Yeah.
Anyway. Don't think too hard about it. As the Godzilla podcast that Jay used to listen to said, this is a show about monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, you really have to be sure not to think too hard about Godzilla.
You'd be amazed how many people do try to think too hard about Godzilla. And not like in this is an interesting social commentary in 1954 way. Because you can think really hard about that aspect of it.
Sure. Godzilla is the new spiritual successor to Star Trek because it's social commentary.
Oh, damn. Yep.
Are you auditioning to write for Screen Rant? Is that what this is?
I applied
Chrissie actually tried to do that.
I did, and I think I wrote too good of an article. I really do.
Yeah, there was a year or so ago, they put out a thing asking for... They were trying to hire someone specifically to write about Star Trek for Screen Rant.
They wanted a Trek correspondent. Yeah, and I was like, cool. And I wrote this, the question that they wanted me to write on was why push Discovery into the 32nd century and all of this. And I really sat down and thought about it, and I should not have done that.
See, you probably didn't... You probably never used the words Alex Kurtzman sucks, and therefore they didn't want it.
Probably. I mean, I know I didn't use those words, so...
Alex Kurtzman sucks and doesn't understand how canon works, so they're just being lazy and shooting them off into a part
did you ever use the words lazy writing? Oh, see, there was your problem.
Yeah. Now I realize that. So someone's going to say it was lazy writing that the encryption was the name of that moon that we heard about in the first episode, but...
I thought it was fine because I thought Sam's point was a good one, that it's like this code's going to be something that a 6-year-old would understand, not something that a 20-year-old would understand. I was very surprised that he hadn't tried it since.
Yeah, that he had tried it before but had not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not the code that he used in the first episode, is it?
Because there's 2 years worth of messages, so.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, and Noose Braca wouldn't have known that code either. I don't think he used a code at all in the first message he sent. That was the problem. That's why Braca was able to find them.
Well, he sent it on that
channel, but he didn't encrypt
channel
it.
That they
he didn't encrypt it. Yeah, okay, that's right.
But yeah, he tries the code. He gets a whole bunch of messages. So now he definitely has to go find his mother, but couldn't have happened at a worst possible time.
No. It reminded me a little of that scene in Interstellar when they get all the recordings after they were down on that planet, and you come back and there's 23 years of recordings left.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, that's gotta be hard. And I'm just going to say, this has been said many times, but I can't believe that Sandro Rosta has not done more work than this and one other thing, because he's just so good.
He is, yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all pretty new, but yeah, this was his first acting role, which is wild.
Just a natural.
You're going to sit here and hold this prop, and we're going to have the script supervisor read words to you, and you have to react emotionally to it, and he just nails it. I can't imagine having to do something like that.
Yeah. So when he goes to tell Ake about it, he hears the two chancellors talking about how all Federation ships have been called back to Federation space because Braca has And I gotta keep saying Raku because I keep forgetting the name of, is it what?
The Venari Raw.
Venari Raw. Yeah, I keep equating it with that one episode of TNG, the
Devanani Raw.
Devanani Raw. Yeah, I keep wanting to say Devanani Raw, and I know that's wrong.
Also terrible person,
that.
but yeah.
Yes.
But not related to this.
No, and they haven't even made any callbacks to the Voyager episode that was that was a sequel to that. Because Venari Raw have Omega, all the ships are being pulled back into Federation space, which we will find out was exactly what they wanted them to do. But because of that, Caleb knows that he won't be able to get a ship to go to where his mother is, so he's going to steal a ship and otherwise. And as
Classic.
always happens in this sort of narrative story, his friends find out and are going with him.
It wouldn't
It was a
be
little
Trek if we
clunky
didn't
getting
have
them together, but, you know.
It's
Yeah.
reminiscent of DS9 when Garrick is stealing that shuttle and Bashir is already there. Well, we find out later it's not really Bashir, but that's beside the point.
But, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have the shuttle stealing or the ship stealing. I mean, nothing beats Search for Spock, but
Well,
No.
no. I'll have Mr. Adventure eating out of my hand. I watched that scene a couple times on the cruise because anytime I was flipping through the channels and turned on Search for Spock and it was near that scene, of course I was watching.
You're going to watch
oh
it.
yeah, you got to. Got to. I love how Sam's insistence on going with him because of, and then I wrote in the notes, calculate the technobabble, because I actually stopped and tried to write down what she said and it immediately fell out of my head. I was like, so all the props to this actress for being able to do that scene. I don't know how many times it took her to do it, but usually I can handle the technobabble. I've only been, taking it in my entire life, but that one was, yeah, beautiful.
And through
Prove the point.
And through circumstances, we also get Genesis and very drunk Darum. And they're going to use a transwarp conduit.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they use a transwarp conduit in one of the Prodigy episodes when the kids all snuck off to go somewhere?
That
too.
sounds like it.
They may have, yeah.
I think they did. Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's the new Star Trek trope.
Yeah, why not?
Steal a shuttle, use a transwarp conduit.
Again, it's been 700 years. We figured out how to deborgify him. It's fine.
And
that just made me think of there could be a whole story about how Bajor lost its importance as transwarp became more available and you didn't have to go through the wormhole to get to the Gamma Quadrant, and then the burn happened and all of a sudden the wormhole became important again. So it just popped in my head randomly. But that would be an interesting story. Yeah. Sorry, I digress.
No, I like that.
Jaden and Tarima did not go away with them, but they do find out that they left. So
Tarima knows something is up though.
Yeah.
Because Caleb gives her that weird, not quite a goodbye thing.
Yep.
No. And Jaden's wearing a sash, which I like. I hope that comes back next season.
So they go to tell Ake about this, and she immediately says, "You two look guilty."
Yes.
We didn't do it for once. We're just passing on information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do enjoy. We see the transwarp. We see them traveling on the shuttle and transwarp. It's quite bumpy. They're talking. We need to transfer power from this and transfer power from life support. They're like, no. It's like, you're all young and healthy. You can stand to have your lives a little less supported right now. And honestly, that's a thing that has always bugged me. That they're always like, we can't transfer from life support, and it's like, you can go a couple hours before you have to worry about the oxygen scrubbers.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to be in there that long.
What's the trope of life support's been turned off, so the air is completely unbreathable immediately, and we have to evacuate the bridge and let Data take the ship, Like...
And we get more glitter barf. That was lovely.
It's all
it's
over
on my trousers. I really like how Darum has developed over the season. He started out a complete ass, and as he was told by Jaden, he remains so. But at least we have a little better understanding of him.
So Ake, the Doctor, and Reno are gonna go off in pursuit.
Mm-hmm. Good combination.
Yes, very good combination. And it's interesting that Laura Thok is not in this episode at all.
I was wondering that, like, why she hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah, she literally phoned in an appearance in episode 7.
Right.
What else she has going on? I didn't look at her IMDb to see if she's got something.
It feels like actor unavailability.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me too. Now, we know that she is back in season 2. So, because actually, she was on the cruise, and had come straight from filming. Because actually, like, William Shatner left halfway through the cruise when we docked at San Juan, and Gina Yashere and Zoe Steiner joined us halfway through the cruise because they had come straight from filming Starfleet Academy. And yeah, so we know she's in season 2. So I'm not sure what happened here, but her absence is definitely noticed.
Yes.
Yeah. There's the only other thing she might have been doing at the same time. It was a voice work for a cartoon. So I wonder if it was something like personal with her, like
or
maybe there was
something
a family
non-television. Because I mean, she is a stand-up comedian. She may have had other gigs.
Oh, I guess IMDb doesn't have that. Yeah.
But something I find interesting is every time they mention her, they call her Commander Laura.
Yes.
Which makes me wonder: do Jem'Hadar do like Bajoran names?
Have they taken on Bajoran name customs? Yeah.
I would love that. I think that's great if they did that. I don't think that's the case. I think pretty much everybody in this show is being referred to by their first names, including the Chancellor by one of the cadets. So I think they're just not.
But he has a weird history with her. You wouldn't normally do that
with the rank.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
Well, that's true, too.
Like, they never say Chancellor Nala.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like Ake refers to her as Commander Laura a couple times, which I found interesting. So I'm wondering if it's a last name, first name sort of situation. Which I could see, because we know that's not how Klingons do it.
No.
Well, Klingons don't really have last names.
They don't have surnames. They have
house names,
connections.
But they don't. So I wonder if that's how Jem'Hadar do it, which I could see being a thing. Through a roundabout. Okay, so if we look at like Odo's influence on the Great Link,
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the place? Who's going to take them in? Who is most likely to take in refugees and care for them? Particularly right there at the wormhole. I could definitely see them taking that on. Yeah, particularly because they don't have names anyway.
Right.
Not really.
So they would have had to have developed a name. Yeah. So That's now my headcanon, is that they adopted the naming scheme from the Bajorans.
Yeah.
Yes,
that works for me.
Done. Love it.
The Athena's still searching, but in the meantime, the shuttle gets to the planet here, to, what was it? Ukek,
yeah.
Oh, I do want to say another lost opportunity for merchandising. The mug that Ake is using is a branded Starfleet Academy mug.
Yeah.
Do they not have Starfleet Academy mugs?
I mean, they do, but not that design.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I want the hoodie. I want the Warp Core pajamas. Like, come on. There were a couple of people on the cruise who had custom-made Warp Core pajamas.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably do that on, like, one of those T-shirt making shops.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So we arrive at Ukek, and the shuttle was damaged. So we got to look for parts. We split up. We had to make sure we're hiding our insignia because I almost said Devanani Rawl again because the Venari Rawl are here.
Mm-hmm.
And
we have that wonderful scene with a Lurian who's taking pieces of an octopus out of a tank.
Yes.
So I will say again, I understand that every Lurian we see in Star Trek is silent is a nod to Morn, but that was an inside joke on DS9 that Morn never talked.
Yep.
They do reference the fact that Morn talks a lot all the time on DS9, so it's weird that we never see a Lurian speaking.
Agreed. And I think Mark Allen Shepard's owed back pay for all the talking he didn't do, because that was the whole reason that they didn't have him talk, was so they didn't have to pay him as much.
Yes. In fact, there was supposedly an episode where he was going to have a line, but then it got cut for time or something.
Yeah.
But the important thing here on Ukek is, of course, Caleb's mom, and she is there.
Yes.
And she has a terrible wig.
She has a really bad wig. Yes, she does.
You guys have eyes for that. I could not tell that.
She had she had normal looking hair in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Well, maybe that's on purpose then.
I have to assume that she had her hair cut or colored or something for a different role.
I don't care what her hair looks like. It would look better.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Didn't even realize it was a wig. Okay.
The Nilsson wig.
Yeah, that it's probably the second worst wig that we've seen in modern Star Trek, behind the one that Nielsen wears in the last season of Discovery.
Oh, it's so bad.
You noticed that was a wig, surely, Chrissie?
Once it was pointed out to me, but I don't have a good eye for that stuff. Unless it's like a really bad, like almost like intentionally. Now I'm looking at this now, and all I remember thinking, she stole my haircut.
It looks better on you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
How do you know it's a wig? How can you tell?
If it's not a wig, then it's just really bad.
Okay, well, they could have just styled her hair badly, I guess. I don't
know. I'm assuming it's a wig just because I don't think the actress would actually have her hair look that bad if it was real hair.
Well, I don't know. I'm also one of those people that people will be like, oh, so-and-so looks like so-and-so, and I'll just, I don't see it.
Well, Tom Paris and Nick Locarno do look the same.
Yes. Is it Rutherford in that meme that does, in that episode that doesn't see it?
Yeah.
No, Rutherford does see it, and Boimler doesn't.
Oh, Boimler doesn't see it. That's right.
Face.
That's right.
I am Boimler in that, yeah.
But yes, he meets his mom. She's unsurprisingly very, very cautious and guarded here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't trust his friends.
Nope.
Which I both understand completely, and also, like, she obviously feels so guilty about having not been with him all this time. You'd think she would be glad that he has a found family in a way. Of course, she doesn't know that that's who they are yet. So
yeah, and I think that's the point. She doesn't. He just says they're his friends. She doesn't even know how long he's known them.
They're with him.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, obviously there's some tension there, but they're gonna get the parts for them to fix the shuttle, and then she wants them to leave because she and Caleb are gonna go off together, and it seems like Caleb's more than willing to do that.
That's all that he ever wanted.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that scumbag Devanani Rawl shows up. The Venari Rawl are here. And
I had not heard that until now, and now that's all I'm going to hear every time I hear the name.
You're welcome.
Mostly because I try
I've been
not to
doing
think
that
of
too.
Devon Rawl when I can, if I can avoid it, because, ugh.
Just in general. Doesn't
He's
pop
not
into your thoughts.
the worst Troy love interest.
No.
Well, no. You're thinking of Man of the People?
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
remember that guy's name.
Well, and there was the guy who like sucked out her life force too.
That's the
That
guy
guy.
we're
That's
talking
the
about.
guy,
The guy
yeah.
from Man of the People.
Oh,
the
that
guy,
is Man
yeah.
of the People. You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I can't remember his name though. Nope, that drawing a blank. I've only seen that episode like 2 or 3 times
It's very bad.
it's very bad. I hated that episode even as a little kid. I mean, the only
you
redeeming
should.
quality is when she wears that one dress when she's got the like the one little streak of gray in her hair, and she has that. She looks great in that one scene,
Yeah.
and that's the only redeeming quality in that entire episode.
I always get I always get that
Ambassador
confused with the
Elcar
Masterpiece
is his name.
Society.
Oh,
And I
that
don't
guy's
know
just
why.
boring.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that guy, her love interest in that, meh, he's like
Yeah.
a Kira Nerys love
He's
interest.
there. Yeah.
Here, we're going to set you up with somebody to make the person we actually want you to be with look all that much better. Even though he doesn't really need to be made to look better, but here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna set you up with someone. We need to make Jonathan Frakes look better. Yeah. I don't think that's necessary.
I was thinking more of the Kira thing, but yeah, that too.
Well, okay.
Both
In
of
Kira's
them.
case,
Both of
yeah.
them.
That yes. Well, that was Shakar for sure, but it doesn't explain Bareil because she and Odo didn't have that.
You could tell they were moving in that direction, though. The writers. I feel like that was. I feel like that was there from the get-go. That's a whole other story, maybe, but
Sure.
and I might be reading into it, but
I mean, that was definitely true for Shakar. Like, because
Yeah.
there's the whole episode where Odo is just like pining away.
standing outside the door while they're having sex,
Yes.
grumpy.
Well, I mean, to be
There's better
fair, he's
ways to
always
express
grumpy,
yourself.
but yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking of like really boring love interests from Star Trek. The Meridian guy comes to mind.
The moment
But,
when
yeah.
she asks him why he's not wearing a belt anymore is just heartbreaking. That episode.
It is. It actually is. I don't know if you're joking or not, but I think it
I'm
is.
not. Carl
Okay,
might be.
good.
No, it really is. It's legitimately moving.
Just the essentials.
Thankfully, we have no boring love interests in this episode.
No.
No.
The Venari Raw show up and quickly figure out that they're the ones that belong to the Starfleet shuttle.
Yep.
I love how. So just going back to Anisha here, she looks at their fingernails.
Yeah.
Okay. And the well-nourished thing, I get that, but she says like clean too. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I get that is a very
Even
dirty
this
space
planet
she's
surely has
living in,
sinks.
but it has a sink. Yeah. I mean, this is not like we're looking at our people living as farmers, or you know. I was about to say the mud farmers from Monty Python. I don't know why that was the thing that came to mind. Dirty hands, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, so you're saying that the cadets look like kings because they don't have shit on them?
Shit all over them. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Sorry. Right. So the Venari Rawl show up and recognize they're from that ship.
And things are going to go really bad, but Ake pulls an Admiral Adama and brings the brings the Athena right down into the atmosphere and gets them out of there.
Yep.
Yeah. I like how Anisha tries to distract things. She tries to vouch for them. She tries as best as she can, and then it gets her in trouble. And she knows it had the potential to get her in trouble.
Yeah.
And then Caleb trying to distract people. Like, there's a guy losing at dice back there. He's giving these things away. Yeah.
It's given. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd have been better off saying, oh, there's a guy who is getting murdered back there. Everybody should go watch.
Well, I mean, he's
Well, if
just
he's
trying
watching-
to send
if he's
a
trying to
message to
distract
the
the scene.
ship.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a
well,
message to the
yeah.
ship.
Well, no, yeah,
That's
but
true.
he's also trying to explain why they have
Sure.
Starfleet things.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So, somebody explain to me why a slight difference in the atmosphere is going to block life signs.
I can't.
Yeah, that's
Right,
a
I know
design
nobody
flaw.
can.
I mean, it's a design flaw, but also I do not understand how it could happen. That said, I don't know how detecting life signs actually works.
No.
That's true. I guess if you change the temperature to be the same as their body temperature.
But they don't. They
If,
just change
if they
the
had
pressure.
said that, if they had said that, you know.
Well, that would
But who
probably have
says that
set off an
betazoids
alarm
and-
because the environmental system is screwed up because the room is,
98
37 degrees
or whatever,
Celsius.
yeah.
But I think it's just more of a joke on the whole, how many ways can you hide your biosigns when you need to
Yeah.
in Star Trek than anything else.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that she said specifically that cargo bay. She's like, in this cargo, in cargo bay, whatever, if you change the atmospheric pressure.
That's
Well, that's
the
a
one where
design
everybody
flaw.
was storing.
Yeah.
That's how they figured it out.
Remember, make sure that the uniform you're wearing is your own and it's sterilized.
Oh, that was, yeah, we went past that, but I love that too. And then we had another call out on the Talaxian fur fly. It went into the
Fur fly.
replicator.
Escape.
It's
It's heading
escape
into a
now, yeah.
replicator.
So, did anybody else think of the fly there?
Yes.
A little
Okay.
bit, yep.
It's because that just seemed obvious but wonderful. So,
Oh god, are we gonna eventually see the Talaxian fur fly? Is it gonna have Ethan Phillips' face on it?
I was,
That would be amazing.
I didn't know how you were going to finish that sentence, and I was about to say Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, that would also be amazing, but I think it would be better if it was Ethan
It was
Phillips.
Ethan Phillips.
It would be. Oh, although that brings into question the origins of the Talaxian fur fly and a lot of other things that I really don't want to know about. So,
Well, it's from that time that Neelix got freaky on Tuvok's bed.
so Anisha gets shot, but she's okay because the doc waved a light over it.
Lower Decks
yeah.
is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, it is. It really is.
But now the Athena is trapped by the Venari Raw.
Yep. Tractor beamed, and they drop they're in the saucer. They drop the star drive. They don't call it that, but
They basically lose everything but the central saucer section.
Yeah.
which has its own warp drive, which is cool. So that's nice. Better than the old Enterprise D.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in the future, especially this sort of thing, where the ship is designed to be modular.
Yeah.
So it makes
if-
sense that they would have
If you can have
the backups.
detached nacelles, then yeah.
And then we get what 30 years ago would have been the cliffhanger for the summer. With Jet Reno calling out, "Is anybody there?"
Yeah.
But I guess I can't say I'm unhappy that, the rest of it's going to be next week.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's good that it's not a cliffhanger for the season. But yeah, and we do definitely see that they did think about three-dimensional space and made it spherical.
Yeah.
But again, we come back to the 4.5 million minds.
Right.
Right. Did anybody else get a little bit of a Q vibe? I know it's not going to have anything to do with that, but just the red mesh.
Oh, I can see
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Counter
I can see
Farpoint
that.
sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure they didn't mean for that to mean it that way, but I was like, oh, Q. Of course, if the Q were involved, that would explain how he could do it so quickly.
That's true.
That's true.
It's not happening.
Although, we did get that one mention in Season 4 that they haven't heard from the Q in a long time.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where this is going, obviously, because I haven't seen the last episode. I keep coming back to this idea that, I mean, taking him at face value, which you really can't do, but that scene with Braca and Ake when he's talking about how he had his own little, basically a rest stop in space, and that the Federation came in and screwed it up, and how it feels like it reminded me a lot of that monologue that Harry Mudd has in Choose Your Pain when he's talking about the Federation essentially screwing over people with their stuff. And like, I don't know where this is going, but I love the idea that it potentially could just be Braca saying, you guys think you're helpful, but you're a pain in the ass and we don't need you. Go away. And like, we're just going to hem you in and we're going to enjoy our free space because that great theory of how the Federation is really a bunch of, I don't know if fascist is quite the right word, but you know, they're not
Braca's libertarian.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the great paragon of freedom and goodness that we like them to be, and that Star Trek is really a case of a bunch of unreliable narrators talking about how great Starfleet and the Federation are.
They aspire to be.
They aspire to be, but yeah. I mean, everybody that we meet practically in the Federation that isn't part of the hero ship is a pain in the butt, generally speaking. So, going all the way back to the Ambassador Foxes of TOS, you know.
Yeah, that's true. We did an episode of The Line on the short trek with Harry Mudd, and we sat down to do it, and we were like, okay, this is going to be like 15 minutes because the show is 15 minutes, and we ended up talking for, I think, almost an hour about Federation imperialism and whether or not it's, you know, whether or not it is an empire, and if Harry Mudd was right about that. So, you know, listeners, it's on the other network, but once you're done listening to us, there's no reason you couldn't go back in the Trek FM archives.
Are we allowed to say that name?
In the archives of that who shall not be named.
Now, I found it interesting that they abandoned the atrium, which was the part underneath the saucer.
Yeah.
Because that didn't have a tractor beam on it. I wonder if the saucer's little warp engines don't work with the atrium, maybe.
Maybe. I guess I was thinking the atrium was part of the wings part.
Is it?
I thought they were all separate pieces, like, because again, like, who knows what part is what anymore? Because
I assumed the
stuff is
atrium
just kind of floating.
Was the central part that sticks out under the saucer.
Yeah,
I would have thought it was too, but since they leave it behind, I figured it was...
Well, they did. They said they were abandoning it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And they left the part under the saucer behind.
Yeah.
I gotta look at it now. Oh, yeah, that's separate from the wings.
Yeah. I just found it interesting that they abandoned that. I wonder if it was because the saucer is more maneuverable without it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or maybe they couldn't, you know, you can only have so big of a warp field.
Yeah.
Because there weren't nacelles, really. It was just those little strips on the side that looked like they lit up.
The auxiliary
Good eye.
Auxiliary nacelles, yeah.
I didn't even catch that. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. They left it behind because plot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's symbolic. They're leaving behind like
Actually, you're right.
The big part of the recognizable part of the Academy.
Yeah.
Well, are there anything else that happened this week that either of you want to cover?
No, I'm bummed already that we're already done with the season.
I know.
Next week. They just fly by.
I know it's going to be probably summer for Strange New Worlds, but I just, you know. I want to see the Muppet episode. I want to see all the episodes, but I want to see how they do the Muppet thing.
Yeah.
They explained the musical in a way that I could accept. Now I need to see the Muppet thing.
They, you know, get attached to a singularity that
turns them into Muppets.
Views that only works with Muppets. I don't know.
I mean, it's basically they'll explain it the way they explained themselves as cartoons.
Yeah.
In the one episode, so it doesn't require.
They will all actually be drunk. Nice.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right. Well, Carl, thank you so much for joining us this week. Where can our listeners find you online? What current or upcoming work do you want to mention?
So I can be found poking around the internet at listeningtofilm.net on Blue Sky or online as a webpage. Thad and I also co-host the License to Spiel podcast, where we originally started doing James Bond movies and somehow started talking about Columbo. We are about we're about a third of the way through season 2 of Columbo at this point, and we're continuing to make our way through those, and who knows where we're going to go next, so stay tuned.
I mean, we've got a lot of Columbo to go.
We do have a lot of Columbo.
It'll be a couple years before people need to worry about what we're doing next.
There are a couple seasons that are very British in that there's like 3 episodes, but still.
Besides, I'm still thinking we should do all of Murder, She Wrote, and that'll last us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll be retired by then.
Anyway, Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not storing yourself?
And we're back to our conversation about the doctor popping in anytime he wants. All right. In addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagyi here on the BQN, that short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner Jason. And I'm also happy to chat about our shows on the BQN Collective on Facebook, and I'm on the various socials as the Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where you can see my opinions about Star Trek history and leftist politics. Thad, where can people find you when you're not... Oh, now I have to really come up with something good. Looking for specialist Krebs fly.
I'm just picturing Ethan Phillips going, "Help me."
Yeah.
Best place to find links to my stuff is on my website, tyrannicus.net. That's tyranicus.net, where you'll find links to socials and podcasts. As Carl mentioned, you can hear me on License to Spiel. And that's license spelled with a C like the British do it.
Don't forget all of the other great shows here on the BQN. Here's a recording of Amy to tell you all about them.
What's happening on BQN, you ask? We're not just a network. We're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Let's chart the Star Trek cosmos with all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with the insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy class, engage! Stephen and Stefan pilots this Alpha Quadrant mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Infinite Diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissie and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiance lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front, discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into a rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the tea, Bev? Christo spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube as well as podcasts are Trek Masters. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of a Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. But beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Szilagyi. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissie and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe and transformational journeys. Host Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. You can unlock deeper levels of engagement with our exclusive patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. You can also now watch All Good Things as an extended video edit and get a background look into the creation of a podcast. Also, check out our back catalog of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following BQN Podcast on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. Assimilate the audio.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on the socials at BQN Podcasts or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of our BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and you can join our Discord server. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the season finale of Starfleet Academy, Rubicon. Until then, we bid you peace and long life.